like to tell me a story of your first kiss?
All right, so I have two. One is just the like lip to lip contact. I was in kindergarten and there was this boy who he would go underneath the tables in kindergarten and like just peep around and just be real sly and gross. He was like, oh, the birds are down there. Yo, watch out, these birds just pecking everywhere. And I'm like, okay. Because, everybody's in there like, I don't know. You're youthful. You're like, what does this other person have that I don't have? Like, what's down there? So he was like, oh, you gotta come see these birds. You gotta come see these birds. And I was like, yeah, let me go. So I go down there, and then he just like, mwah, like kisses me real fast. And I'm like, and you're like 5 at the time. So it felt real salacious and sneaky. So that was that first time. And then the first with like tongues and wet and all that fun stuff. I was in 8th grade and I thought I was grown. And there was this boy who, in hindsight, he was just not cute. But he lived around the corner from me. So when I would walk home from the train, I'd see him. And he's like, oh, what up? And I'm like, hey. And he's like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 16. Knowing good and well, I was like 14, but 16 just sounded cooler at that age. And one day he invited me over to listen to Usher's Confession album, right? He's like, yeah, my mom's not home. We can listen to Confessions. And which is obviously Usher's like best work, right? Where he just goes through all of his details and all that. And so he looks at me, he's like, how far are you willing to go? And I'm like, not very. And he goes, all right. So we're just making out and I don't know what to do with my mouth. Like, cause there's another mouth attached to it. And I'm like, just kind of hanging out and like, I don't know what my tongue was doing, but I remember in my head, because I had an algebra test that was coming up, and I was going through all of my perfect squares in my head. So I was like 1, 4, 9, 16, and so forth. And then I was like, I really need to go home. So that was that.